Hello students, good morning. We are continuing Geography chapter 3. In previous classes, you learn about minerals. All about minerals, meaning of minerals, uses of minerals, availability of minerals, conservation of minerals, types of minerals and extraction methods of mineral. Now today the next part means second part of this chapter, that is power resources. So today you are learning about power resources. What is power resources? Power resources are the resources which provide us heat, energy, we can say that electricity, right? So first, in given example of this Sunny, let us see what he is telling to us, then we will describe in detail. Power resources, you can see this topic on page number 27. Power resources. Sunny's mother begins her day by switching on the geyser. She irons Sunny's school uniform before waking him up. She then rushes to the kitchen to prepare a glass of orange juice for him in the blender. Right? All these example, geyser, iron, blender, all these need electricity. Keep in mind we are learning about power resources. Sunny, have you finished taking bath? Come and have your breakfast. Call out mother while preparing breakfast on the gas stove for Sunny. While going to school, Sunny forget to switch off lights and fans. When mother switches them off, she thinks that life in the city may be more comfortable, but it depends on more and more on gadgets, all which consume energy. That means overall all this thing, and especially in city area, mostly life depends on all the gadgets, and gadgets are running by electricity. So we mostly depend on the different gadgets, all of which consume energy, has led to a wide gap between the demand and the supply. With the advent of science, which means advancement of the science and technology, the lifestyles are changing very fast. Means before 10 years, how was our lifestyle? It's totally changed because of advancement in science and technology. We can compare rural and city area, urban area. Their life is quite different compared to the urban people, because they mostly depends on gadgets. In still at present also in this era, in rural area, village area, people are still doing mostly their work by their hand. But in city area, because no doubt we have lots of schedules, so we mostly depends on the gadgets, equipments for our daily life. And all these gadgets, equipments needs energy, electricity that we acquire from the power resources. Power or energy plays a vital role in our life. We also need power for industries, agriculture, transport, communication, and defense. Right? And no area is left out without the use of power, directly or indirectly. Power resources may be broadly categorized as conventional and non-conventional resources. Right? So, if we see all these power resources, we can broadly categorize them into two: conventional and non-conventional. Conventional resources, as its name suggested, which we are using commonly from the longer period of time. Conventional sources of energies are those which have been in common use for long time. Firewood and fossil fuels are the two main conventional energy resources. Right, from generations, from many years we are using, and at present also we are using coal, firewood for energy. So let us see these resources in detail. So now, types of power resources, we can divide broadly them into conventional sources and non-conventional sources or non-conventional resources. Conventional sources, they have given example of firewood and fossil fuels, and non-conventional there are other examples we will see later on. Firewood. It is widely used for cooking and heating. In our country, more than 50% of the energy used by villagers comes from firewood. What is firewood? Remains of plant and animals which were buried under the earth for millions of years got converted by the heat and pressure into fossil fuels. Fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas are the main sources of conventional energy. Right, firewood means that wood we get from the trees. We are using for making food, and we are using in furnace and all. That is firewood. Right, all these plant and animals buried deep inside the earth, and after millions of the years it become fossil fuels. Fossil fuels converted into coal, petroleum, natural gas. They are also main source of energy. The reserves of these minerals are limited because it takes longer time of the formation. The rate at which the growing world population is consuming them is far greater than the rate of their formation. Right? Like in previous topic mineral, you learn that the consumption rate is far more than the formation rate. Same with the conventional sources of energy, whether it is a firewood, whether it is a fossil fuels. The growing world population is consuming it so faster, it's far greater than the formation rate. So these are likely to be exhausted soon. That's why we keep on telling, we keep on educating people that use all these resources economically and carefully, because we need to conserve them for future also. Right, some of the fossil fuels examples they have given here. Number one is coal. This is the most abundantly found fossil fuel. It is used as a domestic fuel, right? In village area they are using in their chulas this coal. In industries also, such as iron and steel industries, steam engines, and to generate electricity. In many electricity plant they are using coal for energy purpose. Electricity from coal is called thermal power. Underline this is very important term. What is thermal power? Thermal power is electricity, but when it comes from derived from coal, it is called thermal power. The coal which we are using today was formed millions of years ago, when giant ferns and swamps got buried under the layers of the earth. Right? How this coal formed? These giant ferns, swamps, and plant and animals, all these things deep buried under the layer of the earth, and after a long time it get formation. Coal is therefore referred as to be buried sunshine, because it gives us the power, it gives us the energy, and it deeply buried inside the earth. That's why it is also known as buried sunshine. You can underline this. Why coal is called buried sunshine? Because it comes buried deep in the layers of the earth, and it is used for the generating electricity and thermal power, so it is called buried sunshine. The leading coal producers of the world are China, USA, Germany, Russia, South Africa, and France. The coal producing areas of India are Raniganj, Zaria, Dhanbad. You remember Dhanbad in that previous mineral story that Sukant was living in, and Kiri were visiting her. Dhanbad means Jharkhand. Bokaro in Jharkhand. Here you can see a power plant, a view of the thermal power station. They are using coal to generate energy. Okay. Hope children you understand about the coal, why coal is considered as a thermal power and buried sunshine. Second important fossil fuel is petroleum. You all are aware of petroleum, right? Crude oil. The petrol that keep your car running, as well as the oil that keeps your cycle from squeaking, both begins as a thick black liquid called petroleum. Right? Petrol and petroleum both are different. Petroleum is a product. From this, petrol, diesel, kerosene are byproduct. It is found between the layers of the rocks, and it drilled from the oil fields located in offshores and coastal area. Mostly this crude oil wells found in offshore area, coastal area, and through drilling method. In previous topic you learn extraction of mineral. Petroleum is a kind of mineral. It drilled out from the wells, making boards. This is then sent to the refineries, right? We are having one refinery at Jamnagar, Reliance Refinery, which process the crude oil and produce a variety of products like diesel, petrol. You can underline these all are the byproduct of the petroleum, crude oil. Right? Crude oil is a main mineral which derived from that bores through drilling, and from these all these byproduct are derived, like diesel, petrol which we are using in our vehicles, kerosene, wax, plastic and lubricants. See, plastic is also one byproduct of the crude oil. Petroleum and its derivatives are called black gold. Why it is called black gold? Because it comes in a color, black color. When it is derived from the whales, it is in black color and it gives loads of foreign currency. So it is called black gold, as they are very valuable. The chief petroleum producing countries are Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. The other major producers are USA, Russia, Venezuela and Algeria. The leading producer in India are Digboi in Assam, Bombay High in Mumbai and the deltas of Krishna and Godavari rivers. No doubt, as I told you that we found some sources of petroleum in near Jamnagar. So Reliance has established its refinery there, but still they are keep on searching for the more wells from where they can get more crude oil. So this was the petroleum. You learn about the petroleum. Petroleum is a main mineral. From these all these byproduct derived. Third fossil fuels is the natural gas. Natural gas is found with the petroleum deposits and is released when crude oil is brought to the surface. Right? Through drilling they are taking out crude oil. Along with crude oil, because of heat and pressure, natural gas is also released, and they are collecting natural gas and used for the as an energy resource. It can be used as a domestic and industrial fuel. Russia, Norway, UK and Netherlands are the major producers of natural gas, because mostly crude oil, where crude oil are found, along with crude oil they are also collecting natural gas. In India, Jaisalmer, Krishna Godavari Delta, Tripura and some areas offshore in Mumbai have natural gas resources. Very few countries in the world have sufficient natural gas reserves of their own, because it is not easily available, because when they are doing this crude oil drilling, at that time along with crude oil, because of heat and pressure from deep inside the earth core, that gas is released, that is called natural gas. The sharp increase in our consumption of fossil fuels had led to their depletion, right? Obviously, because of population growth, because of more and more demand of industries and population, there is a sharp increase in our consumption of fossil fuels. And because of this consumption increase, the depletion is at alarming rate. The toxic pollutants released from burning these fuels are also cause for concern. Unchecked burning of fossil fuels is like an unchecked dripping tap. Like unnecessary, without thinking, we are using all these resources, especially fossil fuels. Now it is like a dripping tap, right? When tap is dripping, that we are losing most important water resources. Same when fossil fuel use is unchecked, uneconomically, then we are losing most important fossil fuel resources, which will eventually run dry. This has led to the tapping of various non-conventional resources of energy. So because of scarcity of these conventional resources, now we need to turn to the non-conventional sources of energy that are cleaner alternatives to the fossil fuels. That is most important thing, that we should convert all these uses to the non-conventional, so we can use fossil fuels alternatively. So this is the most concern here. Children, here you can see in do you know box, compressed natural gas, CNG. You must have heard also, in many cars now they are having CNG also. It is a popular eco-friendly automobile fuel, as it causes less pollution than petroleum and diesel, and it is cheaper also. So now people turns towards CNG. It is a natural gas. Next is hydel power. Tidal power means power generated from water. Hydroelectricity also it is called, and it is renewable. Other sources of conventional resources are non-renewable, like it will take longer periods, millions of the years to formation, but tidal power is renewable. So let us see how hydroelectricity is generated. Here you can see one picture is also given. Here you can see yes, now let it come. Let me first explain you picture, then you will understand it nicely. You can see a dam is constructed over a river. From that flowing water, that turbine is moving. Here water reservoir is there. You can see here turbine. Through this water, this turbine is moving. After this turbine moving, that this generator will move and it will generate electricity. So let us see. Rainwater or river water stored in dams is made up to fall from heights. The falling water flow through pipes inside the dam over turbine. You must have visited Sardar Sarovar Dam, or even in Rajkot also Aji Dam, Nyari Dam. So the falling water flows through pipes inside the dam over turbine blades placed at the bottom of the dam. At the bottom of that they put a turbine. Through this, that when water falls on this blade, the turbine will move. The moving blades then turn the generator to produce electricity. Hope you understand this mechanism. When falling water falls on the turbine blades, it will start moving, and that it connected with the generator and it will start producing electricity. This is called hydroelectricity. The water discharged after the generation of electricity is used for irrigation. Right? They are using the flow, that power of falling water. After that falling, it will again go to the river and again used for irrigation and other supplies. So there is no wastage of any resources. 1/4 of the world's electricity is produced by hydel power. The leading producer of hydel power in the world are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. Some important hydel power stations in India are Bhakra Nangal, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar, Damodar Valley project. Right? And for Gujarat we can say Sardar Sarovar Dam is also very important for power generation for Gujarat. Right? So now hope you understand this mechanism. This is also important diagram that you have to draw when you are doing question answers. At that time you have to draw this diagram of hydel power. Okay, so these were the 4 important conventional power resources given in your book. First one was firewood. Then in fossil fuel you learn about coal and petroleum, natural gas, and other one is hydel power, that is hydroelectricity. Okay children, so another one is non-conventional sources of energy that we will do in next lesson. After this you will see a video of conventional resources. There you will see the mechanism of all these resources and more information about the conventional sources of energy. Let's see this video and we'll end up this lesson. Okay student, have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Energy. Source of energy that has been in use for centuries are called conventional source of energy. Conventional sources include wood, coal, petroleum and flowing water. Conventional sources like coal and petroleum are non-renewable, while sources like flowing water are renewable. Fossil fuels. Fuels that were formed from the remains of dead animals are called fossil fuels. These were produced by complex processes with the help of natural events over millions of years. The most widely used fossil fuels are coal, petroleum and natural gas. Coal. Coal formed from larger dead plants than oil. As the plants were buried by more sediment with more pressure and heat, different types of coal formed. First, brown coal, then black coal and lastly, anthracite. Brown coal is approximately 70% carbon and anthracite is over 91% carbon. Australia's black coal deposits formed about 200 million years ago. When the fossil fuels, oil, gas and coal are burnt in air, The carbon in them combines with oxygen in the air to form carbon dioxide gas, CO2. Look at a plant and imagine it buried in a swamp with layers of sediment on top squashing it. Hydropower plants. Electricity is generated by using the kinetic energy of flowing water is called hydroelectricity. The electric power is thus generated is called hydroelectric power. Electricity is generated from flowing water at hydroelectric power plant. A high dam is constructed on one side of the reservoir to hold back the water. The generator house is at the base of the dam on its other side. Water flows down through pipes from near the top of the dam to generator house below. It strikes the blades of a water turbine with tremendous speed, making it rotate. The turbine rotates the shaft of a generator to which it is connected. This makes the generator produce electricity. In this way, the kinetic energy of flowing water is used to rotate the turbine, and the rotational kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy. It is not necessary to set up large dams for hydroelectric plants. Small hydroelectric plants can be set up to generate electricity from a few hundred kilowatts to tens of megawatts. Such plants can use water diverted from a waterfall or from a dam built for irrigation. Advantages of hydroelectricity. The source of energy, water, free and renewable. Produce the energy of flowing water is pollution-free process with no smoke, chemicals, etc. being produced. The cost of electricity generation is low as compared to electricity generated from other types of power plants. Dams built for hydroelectric power plants also help in flood control and irrigation. Disadvantages of hydroelectricity. Dams built for large hydroelectric plants submerge a large area of land underwater. This affects the plants and animals of the region. Not all rivers and not all areas are suitable for hydroelectric power generation.